Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Life School Community Networking Speaking event as I welcome a lot of the amazing purpose-driven entrepreneurs that are joining me. I want to say hi to everybody. Hi, Dawn. Hi, Dee. Jen. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. So nice to have you all part of our event today. How is your Friday going? I hope your weekend is going well. And I'm so excited again to connect with some of you that I haven't seen in quite a while. So it also feels like a reunion to have you all here. So as a lot of you are joining me, just to be respectful of everyone's time, I'm streaming live in our community as well. So that you ladies can connect with as many purpose-driven entrepreneurs as possibly is allowed within this time frame. Welcome to everyone, where we have our community experts also actually share more regarding their background, the work they do in the world, with the main purpose of inspiring and educating one another through the nurturing of heart-driven relationships. So that new beautiful opportunities for collaborations, brand building, and clients can arise. This is the hub where all heart-driven entrepreneurs build high-level, meaningful relationships and innovation of strategic partnerships. So each one of you, our amazing speakers today is going to have about 5 to 10 minutes to tell us a little bit regarding their background and also a topic of choice or around their area of expertise that they would like to share with us for our audience of entrepreneurs, and also a call to action so that they can continue the journey further along this event. So I'm going to say hi to Dawn, especially since I have seen Dawn in such a while, a long time, I would say, a couple of months back. Dawn was part of our community when it first started to grow. So I'm so excited to have you back, Dawn. Dawn, thanks so much for being here.
Hi, Elona. You're very sweet, Elona. I really appreciate you very much. Very much.
It's my pleasure. I appreciate it. So Dawn,
so how does the format go? What do you want me to do?
Yep. So tell us a little bit regarding your background that led you to the work you're doing now. And also, what is it that you would like to share with our entrepreneurs? 5 to 10 minutes around your area of expertise and a call to action.
Okay.
Continue.
Okay, we'll go 7 minutes. I'm being mindful of the time. Okay. I just want to say that I just love Elona. Everybody, and thank you for listening to me. I have no idea what this is going on. I came online about 18 months ago, and honest to God, had no clue what I was doing at all. I've never been online except maybe to walk 5 miles to the library to check my email. I have no idea. So I had empty nest syndrome when my youngest son left home. And I thought, well, my life really isn't over. I thought maybe it was over, but it wasn't. And God had a different plan for me. So I got online, and the first person, probably with maybe the second person I met, was Elona. And you all already know, I mean, she's just very spiritual, and she just kind of lets the spirit lead her to make decisions. She's able to like have a life of rest. It's very attractive. And she inspired me and helped me to gain a little bit of clarity and confidence. Confidence comes after it, okay? So I am a soul prosperity coach, and I am a mental health practitioner and advocate for women. And it's 2 groups of women. I haven't been able to narrow it down to one. Okay. One group is already in recovery. They understand about mindset. They understand about recovery and putting all that hard work in, but they're sitting in rooms of AA and they're just basically dying, because God has a call on their life, and they're just sitting there in the meeting day after day after day after day. It's horrendous. And why I'm called to work with them is because that was my life for 2 decades, and it was horrific. And I am free from that. And I am so grateful to be free from that, because that was like a a dark, dark part of my life. Okay. I never thought I'd be free from sitting in those rooms. And the other group of women, and this doesn't seem like, okay, I'm checking the time. It doesn't seem like they would go together, but the other group of women is someone who maybe they had a traumatic childhood or some trauma in their life, but they chose to rise above that and they focus on financial prosperity. Okay. So they've been successful already in many areas of their life, but now they're getting older and they're starting to see that, I don't know, they have some physical manifestations, maybe some emotional issues, and they can't seem to break through that glass ceiling, that they want to go a little bit further to help a bigger group of people, but they can't, maybe they can't make more than $1 million a year. You know, they can't rise above that. They want to go further, but they can't. So those two groups of people don't seem like they match, but they really do. Because my call to action would be to sign up for my reset program. It's my reset method. And the first thing, the prerequisite, is to detox your environment. And that will get your central nervous system regulated in order to go through the reset method, which is about mindset. And it gets you to a place where you already know what your gifts are. You already know what your gifts are, and you already know where you're going and what your purpose is, but it helps you gain a little bit more confidence and clarity so that you can, act with boldness as you're going through different callings, if that makes sense. So, yeah. I love you, Elona. You're such a sweetheart.
Thank you so much, Dawn, for sharing that.
My gosh.
Your involvement in the journey. As I always say, this is absolutely a journey, being an entrepreneur of growth and involvement. And we always think that, our business, we grow our business, but I always say our business grows us as we get more awareness around, the areas that we really like to support other people with. So I love to hear everything you had to share. And Dawn is also, you are part of Life School community on Facebook. So that is where you also can connect with all these amazing speakers that you're going to hear more regarding today. So beautiful. I'm going to my next speaker. She's actually one of our community experts, and I'll tell you about our community expert program as well, so that you can leverage these high-level relationships. I found in my journey that human relationships is the best capital that we have for not only soul fulfillment, but also for impact and income, because somehow they all connect together. So that is the good news. So I will ask Corinne to join us in our virtual Zoom stage today. Corinne Rodden is our amazing health coach, and she helps entrepreneurs get their health in order and has a whole unique holistic approach to her. So I can't wait to have her share a little bit more regarding what she does with you ladies, and also a 5-minute area or topic of expertise that you like to share with us regarding a very important area in our life, which is our health. Corinne, you can open up your mic, and love to say hi to you.
Yes. Hi, Elona and everyone. Thanks so much for having me. Really like being here. So my journey had started 40 years ago, over 40 years ago. I always loved the field of health. And just for a short time in my life, a couple of years, I had gained weight. I was away at college. And, I'm someone who likes to eat, and the food just wasn't good. So I resorted to fast food, which is so out of my element. So anyhow, over time, after 3 years, and I left school, I came out, I had gained weight. And I said, well, this has got to come off. And my journey started then. And I said, okay, let me get back on my path. I always ate healthy, never had any health problems or issues. And so I started to eat healthy, and I, always was, kind of athletic. So I said, let me start to jog. That came easy for me. So I jogged 4 times a week with jogging. And then also I incorporate meditation because I felt that was very important too. And of course, over time, the jogging went to brisk walking, and lifting weights, at the gym. And over about 23 years ago, I wanted to, change my career. I got certified in polarity therapy and nutrition, and I was doing a part-time for a while, still in, full-time corporate place. And it didn't take off. I just kept doing it part-time, doing my full-time job, kept doing it part-time. And I kind of just went. And after 2008, a lot of things changed. So my path was more entrepreneurial things, trying different things. And then 2013, I was in a Facebook group, and I really loved the mentor in that group, and they were all writing books. So I figured, all right, let me write about holistic health, which I love. And so I started my journey at that time as well. And then I got it published 2 years ago, and here we are today. So I really enjoy helping women with their health. I think it's very important. Your health is everything. Your health is your wealth. And
Yeah.
I have a holistic approach to it. Of course, eating healthy and exercising, but I integrate, more holistic things to it, using aromatherapy oils, using music therapy, some yoga, doing some Reiki, and balancing your chakras with crystals. And I just find it so effective and it's so helpful. And I have for any of you in here, I offer a free 60-minute health analysis session where I could personalize your health goals for you.
Love that. And yeah, you definitely have a lot of tools up your arsenal. I always say that, Corinne, because you do take that holistic approach to health, and health is our wealth. I always say that it's a very important area, especially for entrepreneurs, to be able to have the energy and the tenacity to work on our mission and purpose,
Yes.
right? Every day to show up as our best self so that we can give, but also take care of our health and our body. It's really, really important. That is one area that I'm always focusing on. Sometimes it's a journey of up and downs, but it's definitely something to always be aware of. So I know you definitely offer so much value with that. And you have a free Facebook group community, correct? That you share a lot of great information around this area.
Yes, health
What
and
is it?
vitality for entrepreneurs.
Awesome. Health and vitality for entrepreneurs. All you amazing ladies will be able to share your links. So don't worry, you don't have to remember, because you're all part of the our Facebook group community. So that'll be easy. That'll be a great place for you to connect together. Thank you so much, Corinne.
Thank you.
Awesome. I want to bring to the stage next Jen Youngquist. I hope I'm not butchering your name. I have a talent for butchering names. I'm sorry about that. She's my amazing new recent connection. We have recently connected, and we had such an alignment already just by learning more about one another. So I'm so glad that she's here today, and I'm looking forward to introduce her to you as well. Welcome, Jen.
Hi, thank you. So, I'd say my journey started 24 years ago. You're going to hear some very similar things from that's what Corinne said and what Dawn said. Found myself overweight and unhappy after college, and I just decided that I was going to get myself in shape. And this was before the internet, so you had to do it the old-fashioned way. You had to get books and magazines, and you just had to kind of try some stuff. And so I wasn't the kind of person that liked to break a sweat, so it was not an easy thing for me. But what I ended up finding is that the more that I did this and the more I started to see results, and the better I was feeling, like the better my mind got as well. Like I got way more connected to myself. You know, the brain fog started to clear. My emotions were more easily regulated. So, you know, I kept at it. I was getting the benefits and I kept going. At the same time, I was also in a corporate job that I really did not like and was not happy with. And I had always been looking for something to replace it with. But it took me 20 years to find that. So I eventually found coaching. So I am now a wellness and relationship coach, as well as a yoga teacher and energy healer. The third prong of my journey is the relationship area, where I spent about 20 years dating emotionally unavailable people. I was engaged twice. Every time I would go to try to set up the wedding and get everything together, then the guy would just kind of, you know, back off or, you know, actually call it off. So then I had to really have that moment with myself of like, okay, I am the common denominator here. What is going on? And so there was some internal work that I had to do. And so now what I do is I help women with all of those things. So I have finally, I have a new offering, and it is a year-long club where women over 40 who are looking towards that second half of their life, you know, where they want deep evolutionary relationships. Even if they're married, you can still feel alone in your relationship when you're married. So, you know, it's for those that really want to find that evolutionary partner or get their relationship to be on an evolutionary path. You know, and these are women that haven't been successful at trying to do those things on their own. And mostly it's because that there are some underlying shadows and old energy patterns that they really need to deal with. And those energy patterns can also contribute to their overall health, which for most, you know, are probably going to have a few pounds to lose, probably have no idea how to go about that, especially once you reach that menopause age. It gets a lot harder to start to, you know, get yourself back into some good health. So my program is also holistic. So we have the health part, the piece of it, which is based on the 10 habits of Ayurveda. So we'll work on instituting those habits into your life. They've helped me greatly. I am at menopause age, and I'll tell you, I lost 15 pounds without really trying. So, you know, I totally believe in these habits. But along with that, we work on your energy. So we have the 4 areas of the cultivation of energy, right? Because we need to start to build the energy to have that sustainable energy. Then we also work on releasing, clearing out the old, containing energy, so stopping energy leaks such as not being able to say no, people pleasing, all of that stuff really tends to sap your energy. And we also work on aligning that energy to where it is that you want to go, and you know, really have that overall clear vision of your life and how you're going to get there. So yeah, that's it in a nutshell.
Love that. The common denominator was me, right? Isn't it always us? That stuck with me from your message. It's really powerful. And yeah, I mean, helping women navigate that area around 40s. I haven't reached there yet, but I could definitely, you know, see how that can really affect all the other areas. So energy alignment is really powerful for sure. I've come to discover it, and I'm always working on ensuring that it is always in alignment, because that only, not only does it give us the results on the outside that we're looking for in our life and business, but also you feel good you feel fulfilled, you feel in good energy, in good spirit, you find joy from the work you do. Because sometimes, when we're pushing things for the wrong reason and we don't always understand the reason why we're doing it, we can really see it and we can really feel it if we tune into our energy and our body and all of that. So I love the work that you're doing, Jen. And where is it that you share helpful content for people to find out more around this, the work that you do?
I've been concentrating more locally, doing some workshops, but I am getting ready to put together a workshop coming up in end of March. So when I go to promote that, it'll be mostly on Facebook.
Perfect. And definitely let us know inside our Facebook group as well, because everybody is there. So you can also share whatever you have happening or wherever your most amazing content is really landed or stored or hosted, whatever you want to call it, so that we can and learn more around that area. Knowledge is infinite less. Like the more I learn, the more I realize there's so much more to learn, which is where the whole life school vision came about for me, aligning success from the inside out, because I really learned how to do it from outside in, and it didn't work. I wasn't happy, right? All the achievement cannot cure the inner work that you have to do. So I love that. Thank you so much, Jen. And I will go to Liz Yakowi. Liz, welcome back. I also haven't seen you in a little while, so I'm so happy to see you today.
Yeah, nice to see you too. And thank you for creating this for us here, and great to see everyone here as well. I love hearing all these stories, and it seems like we have similar journeys. It's centered around weight. I think for me it was, yeah, it's always been a battle. Weight has always been a battle since my teens, but not only weight, but it's kind of funny when you start this journey, and I'm listening to all your stories and where you are and where you've come from. And it's kind of funny how we start connecting the dots when we look back, right? And so for me, when I look back to my teens, that it's always been a cycle of stress, anxiety, overwhelm. And then something happens and you feel good for a while, and then you oscillate back, right? Because something happens. I don't know about you guys, but for me, I'd pick up a good book in my 20s, probably like Pulling Your Own Strings, I think was one of the first books with Dr. Wayne Dyer. And it was like, learned a lot about mindset, but it didn't stick, right? Because you still get caught up in the cycle of the old rules that we live by from our parents, what our parents tell us, and teachers and everything like that. So I had 3 breakdowns, what I call them breakthroughs now. And I think that when it was the third one that hit in 2014, I kind of went, okay, this has got to stop. Like, I can't keep doing this anymore, right? And it was much like you guys, 80 pounds overweight. I was done. So I thought, okay, I'll focus on my weight. But yes, it does help with your mind. But I also noticed that when I started my business, that was a whole new ball game in terms of mindset, sitting in front of the computer, being afraid to make those sales calls. What are people think? Getting on a Zoom call, even like this, I found like exhausting, because I was so anxious and concerned about what other people are thinking on the other side of the screen and that sort of thing. And so that's what I started to focus on more, was mindset. And so that was my journey on how to overcome all these, BS rules that we adopted from early childhood, and using various techniques, like Dr. Joe Dispenza's techniques, Tony Robbins. So what I've done is I've kind of incorporated a lot of the different techniques because I've always seemed to find what's missing, or that next level that people need to go to. Like, this is good, but this is missing, and then you can add to it. And so you incorporate a lot of different tools and techniques, some neurolinguistic programming as well, to help people who are really, what I found is you're stretched thin. We stretch ourselves thin because we want to do so many different things, but then it does affect us in terms of, I myself started snapping at my kids, and that's not the type of mother I wanted to be, right? Or, you start noticing that just things aren't happening the way you want them to happen. And so what can you do? And I realized that it was mindset. So that's what I started to focus on. And so I created my own signature program, and it's called Think It, Change It, Live It. And so it's really about thinking about what you're thinking, because only then can you change it. And once you change it and start reprogramming your mind in a different way to create that new identity that you want to create, then you can start living the life that you truly love and desire. So.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why I always say, why are we having conversations? And this weight thing, I wish it could go away forever, but it's one of those journeys that, you know, I also find myself going back and forth into, okay, I'm gonna make this my area of focus for the month. And then and then it's just like, sometimes it's like I gotta make it like a business decision or something, because it's like you fluctuate, you go back and forth, and you don't stick with certain things that you said you wanted to do. And there's so much behind this areas. So I love that a lot of you are sharing similar message. So hopefully I'm not the only one that is really looking to take care of this area as an entrepreneur. But Liz, yeah, I love your approach. And I always find that's the most aligned business that you can do when you learn from everyone. But at the end of the day, you kind of cook your own meal, you put your own spin to things based on your life experience, your journey, and we only teach things that we have only experienced from our life experience. So that's always the most powerful way to do that. And Liz, where is it that people can find more information around all the amazing content? I'm sure I see you always on social media. We are connected. You share a lot of amazing content to inspire people and also educate them.
No, thank you. Yeah, I have my website, lizjacoy.com, is a good place to start. I also have a Facebook group. I believe Corinne said she had one, and you do too, Elona, where you can share a lot of information. That's called Living an Energized Life. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And very nice to have heard from you again. Awesome. So I'm going to Heidi Drummond next. Heidi, nice to see you. And looking forward to everything that you have to share with us regarding your journey. And also, if you can give us, I guess, a little bit of value regarding your area of expertise and a call to action where people can find more about the work that you do. Feel free to open up your mic.
Thank you. Happy Friday to everyone. Thank you for having me on the call. So I started my journey several years ago when I was I'm an alternative wealth strategist. So I help people figure out ways to get their money to work harder for them. I was a life coach for a while and weight loss coach. And I really started realizing that a lot of the underlying stuff was around money. People had a lot of issues with money and dealing with it. And so I really started digging into my own situation, because as retirement age was approaching, I wanted to figure out, where was my money? What had my financial advisor told me to do with my money? Would I ever be able to afford to retire? Where would my income come when I did retire? You know, I didn't know the answers to any of those questions, and it would keep me up at night. I'd wake up in the middle of the night going, oh, why didn't I start saving earlier? You know, oh my gosh, am I ever going to be able to retire? I'm going to have to work till I'm 85 years old. You know, just all those things going through my brain. And so I sat down and I figured out everything that I had and where it was and how it worked. And during this time, I discovered that there were other ways to get my money to work harder, so that I don't have to work harder, that are not the mainstream kind of things that most people know about, things that are not tied to the stock market, you know. And as I learned about these things for myself, I just became very passionate about wanting to share this with other women that are approaching retirement, that don't know about them. Not that they have to do it or not, but just to help educate them. You know, the mainstream thinking for a lot of people is put all your money in your 401k and pay off your mortgage. Those are like the two things that people always think about. Well, first of all, a lot of people think putting your money in your 401k is you're not paying, you know, you're doing it and you're not paying taxes. Well, it's deferred. You have to pay taxes on that money when you start taking it out. A lot of people don't know that there's another kind of way you can save for retirement in a Roth account, where you pay the tax today on the money today, And then as that money grows, you don't have to pay tax on the growth. And so I just help educate people on different ways that they can get their money to grow faster. The vehicles that I put my money into are backed by real estate. They're not tied to the stock market. And so I educate people on the difference between speculative wealth and collateralized contractual wealth. Speculative wealth is where you put your money into a money market fund or an annuity or a 401k, and you cross your fingers and hope that the stock market goes up. And that's the way I was for years and years and years. I kept my head in the sand and my fingers crossed, hoping that, the stock market didn't tank. And when I found out about these new vehicles, I fortunately got all my money out before the last time the stock market went down. Because in 2008, I was like everybody else. I lost half of what I had because things got terrible. And a lot of people never recovered from that. So as being an alternative wealth strategist, I just meet with people one-on-one, help them kind of get a high level view of where they are, what their goals are, where they want to go. And then we talk about different ways that we can get them there. And it's, again, I don't manage their money. They manage their own money. A lot of people don't realize that you can move your 401k money, depending on how old you are and what your situation is, into what they call a self-directed 401k, or pardon me, self-directed IRA. And then you can invest the money wherever you want. You're not taking a distribution yet, but you're putting it into, so some of the vehicles I have pay you double-digit returns, which a lot of people go, that's impossible. You can't get double-digit returns. Well, I have one vehicle that every 90 days, it pays you 10%. What? 10%, that's a 40% a year. I didn't know about these things. And so, like I said, I'm passionate about sharing this information, because the saddest thing is if somebody runs out of money in their retirement. They become a burden on their family. They have to go back to work at 85 years old. It's just sad. So if I can help just one person not have to deal with that, I will have felt successful. So that's kind of my journey and my passion.
Yeah, I could tell the passion for sure. And this is another area that is big, right? Because money is freedom, is that tool that we need to live the life that we want, right? As much as it's like a love-hate relationship for some people. I know I had my own journey with overcoming a lot of money stories that don't really serve me well being an entrepreneur. So I love the area you cover, Heidi. Where is it that you post your best free content for people to get
Well,
that?
I just put my contact information in the chat. My website is alternativewealthstrategies.com. You can schedule a call with me. I do have a LinkedIn page. I do not have a Facebook page. But I just like that one-on-one. Let's have a conversation and find out where you are, where you want to go, and see if I can help you get there. Help you learn different ways to get your money working harder so you don't have to.
Yeah, that's it. Love it. Thank you so much, Heidi.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure. And last but not least, as I have someone else joining us, is going to be Eileen Dawson. Eileen, thanks so much for being here.
Sure. Thank you for having me. My name is Eileen Dawson. I'm up here in Massachusetts. It's actually cold today with 28 degrees, where last week was like 50s, and we just wore a sweater. We have yet to pull out the snowblower. It's amazing what this winter's been. But honestly, I would like to have some really cold weather so our Lyme ticks aren't so bad, and we get a chance to kill some of those suckers. Anyway, so I'm a little different than John and Heidi. I'm in the money space too, but my total focus is on debt management. So I work with individuals and couples, and I also do trainings for small and medium-sized companies in the area of personal finance. So my focus is in the weeds with them. We're in the deep end. I'm throwing them a life preserver. We're starting to get some of those credit cards down, the student loans, the vehicle loans. And that's the space I stay in. I don't do wealth management. I don't do financial advising. I don't do insurance. I don't do any of that. I just stay in my space and I work with the numbers. If someone's making $5,000 a month and they're spending $6,000, we know where the problem is. Sometimes people might be making $6,000 and they're only spending $4,500, and they're like, where the heck did the other $1,500 go? So we figure it out. We put a plan together and we figure it out. And typically I'll walk and coach people for at least 4 months. That way we can change those habits. Some of the ladies today were talking about weight management, and one of the examples that I'll use when I'm talking to a client is, I put 35 pounds on with COVID. I'm not the only one that was stress eating. And I had to take my own advice where I couldn't get started. I'm like, 35 pounds, that's not a 2 or 4 month endeavor. That's going to take a while. So I decided to practice what I preach, which is, why don't you start with 5 pounds? Why don't you just start with the small amount? So I got 5 pounds off. And then 4 weeks later, I got another 5 pounds off. And then I got down to about 25 pounds. And I'm like, yeah, getting a little cocky. I'll get the last 10 off, kind of went up a little bit. I'm like, whoa, you're going in the wrong direction. Let's start going back down again. Fortunately, I have a 16-year-old who is more like a drill sergeant than she is a teenager. And so she has been at my husband and I about, you need to do these leg workouts and this, that, and the other thing. And, I'm not as young as I was when I was 16. So my flexibility isn't quite that of hers, but I just modify it. And, definitely there's some firming going on and a little opportunity to lose some more weight as muscle replaces fat. So my background is actually human resources. I was a human resource manager for, quite a few years. And then I got my master's degree in HR, and I looked at all the management that was higher than me, that, the directors, the VPs, and they worked a ton of hours a week. So I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I had myself a good cry. And I decided, well, I want a family, so why don't I specialize in something? So I specialized in tech recruiting. And so I did that. I stayed home with the kids for, 8 or 9 years, did a little bit work for the town engineer. And then I went back into recruiting because I'm like, well, lo and behold, there's 3 kids that want to go to college. So I went back into recruiting in 2012, and I hit a wall in 2019. At that point, I was, 54 or so. And what am I going to do when I grow up? What am I going to do with the rest of my life? And I'm like, it's not tech recruiting. I don't want to do this anymore. I hate it. So I started looking around and saying, okay, well, I enjoyed teaching earlier in my career. Maybe I could be a teacher of some sort. So one of my kids said to me, Mom, why don't you teach about money? You're always watching those shows and you're always reading books and all that boring stuff when it comes to personal finance. I'm like, ooh, that's not a bad idea. So I started exploring. I became certified with Ramsey, and that's kind of takes me up to where I am now. I've got 3 kids. I'm married. I can't believe I've been married for 27 years. I couldn't possibly be that old to be that married that long, but I am. So anyway, that's me. Thanks.
I love that, Eileen. Love your personality. Yeah, for sure, right? And I can so relate with my teenager. They're not very encouraging, but they give you great ideas. You got to listen. We're always learning.
They don't build our self-esteem unless we let, then we can, if we can reframe what they say.
Absolutely, right. And you got to just stay there and be the patient role model that they need at that point and phase of transition as they're going through that. So, but that's another topic. Yeah, I love that. And I love the baby steps because I teach business growth, and I'm also about building the brand, building, your communities, building your audiences, leveraging your relationships. Everything takes time, right? It's not something you build overnight. And sometimes that's because we want quick results. We get in trouble. We get discouraged, and it's like, it's not working, and we quit. That's the problem, right? So having a long-term mindset is what I usually say, even with legacy mindset as an entrepreneur, to build a legacy business. I think it applies in all the other areas that you really want to make great, significant impact, but also that you want to make it a habit. You want to make it, as part of your day-to-day, so that you are not putting in more energy and effort, right? And every phase and stage of life, new challenges always show up. I always say, like, I wish I could have all this figured out already, so I don't have to do any more work. But then it's like, no, this is just part of our human evolution. So I love that. And I love your specialty that you take as well. And Eileen, I don't know if you have shared in the chat, but just let us know, because a lot of people will be watching this also just on video. So where is it that people can find out more free information regarding what you do and resources that they can leverage? Eileen, did you hear me? Where is it that people, do you have a Facebook group or your website? Is it on the
yeah, I'm going to put it in the chat. Sorry, I realized I was on mute. Yeah, I'm just, I'll pop it in the chat. It gives me a website and my email, either of those ways. I love email. So that's probably, or I have my number too. I'm not the greatest at texting in the world, but I will.
Perfect. Then I could tag you as well. Okay, sounds good. And then awesome. I have Sue Pats. I almost got interviewed in her podcast. I love Sue. Sue, so thank you so much for coming by here today, and looking forward to learning a little bit more regarding what you do as well.
Yeah, I'm here for the first time. I really don't know the format, but I'm excited to be over here, and anything for networking, sure, I'm open for that. And yeah, basically, I'm a digital products creator. I just love art. I have technology background. And oh, yeah, you mentioned like your kid suggested, even my kid suggested that I should be doing something in art. So I started doing this, and I had done various kinds of art before, but now I enjoy this. And I also have a podcast where people can come and share their inspiring story, and basically just add value to my audience. I also create e-courses, which are basically for online small business owners. And I was bedridden by 2018, and just basically got bonus life during that time, and wanted to devote my life only providing resources for solopreneurs. So I started blogging, and then ventured into podcast and YouTube and all. And just excited to be over here. Thank you.
Awesome. I love that. So Sue, share us a little bit more regarding the topics or the resources that you're able to provide for entrepreneurs.
Yeah, so basically I started blogging because I wanted to provide free resources, because nobody understands a solopreneur. Only other solopreneur can understand a solopreneur. Their family cannot understand, their friends cannot understand what all the pains and challenges they go through. So just wanted to provide free resources. I started doing blogging, and I got a lot of traction on my blogs. But then people started telling me that they don't have time to read the blogs. I should have YouTube channel and podcast. So I started YouTube and podcast. And my 2 YouTube channels, they really took off. I started 2 more. So right now I have 4 YouTube channels. And so basically whatever free resources I can provide, I started providing them over here. And my daughter really, she felt that I was not following my real interest in art, because I used to do a lot of paintings and a lot of art before I got married. And after I got married, I never followed all those things. So that's why I started looking into what kind of art I can do. And then I thought I can combine my technology background and art background, and I started creating digital products. So everything actually just evolved, and means we might think that our kids, they are younger than us, so we may know more than them, but many times they really give us really, really good advice, and they really care for us. Because unless my daughter had told me, I would have never gotten started into that. And now I thoroughly enjoy it. And it's actually means it's bringing in a lot of revenue also for me, because I had gone on vacation for 1 month, and I automated my business for all these digital products, and I made more money when I was on vacation than I was working during means on my vacation, on my business. So it's overall, it's working out really good. Just happy and blessed. And I always read your emails. You really provide very valuable information. It's always, because you get so many emails, you may not open all the emails, but I open your every email, and that's a really true value added email you send. Every time I learn something from you, and I just didn't want to miss your event.
I appreciate that, Sue. And I think that's back to sort of serving, right? If you serve, right, always add value with the work that we do, and we get to use all these platforms. Sometimes it's overwhelming. It's like, because even when I work with my clients, like, do I do SEO, blogging? Do I do YouTube channel? Should I be on TikTok? Should I be on Facebook, right? So a lot of times it's very confusing, and a lot of times there's a lot of confusion around how to build your personal brand and how to align all these different channels with, where you can reach and impact your ideal audience, and how to do all of that effortless as part of day-to-day systems of operations that we get to do in our business, so that it doesn't, so you're not stretched thin, but you are building everything and you are building communities around all these different platforms. So I love that you have been able to monetize everything. And I would actually ask you for your secret. What do you think made you successful? How did you align everything, into reaching the right customer target or the right target client that you are looking for? And also, how is it that you're able to monetize all of this? Because I think that's a big pain point. I mean, we get told you're muted, Sue. We get told, that we start projects, and I always say either something's building a brand or attracting clients, but we do have to have strategy around the things we do. Otherwise, we are not going to run out of income and cash flow. And that's a big.
No, it's purely joint venture because I changed my niche and I was totally new into all this field, like digital products and podcast, and everything was totally new for me. I changed everything. And at this age means basically you do everything, reinventing wheel and all, it is not easy. So the only, I think I can really tell the secret is basically joint venturing, helping each other, because see, I started podcast and I started getting guests on my podcast, and just basically every guest who came on my podcast means we found some kind of win-win situation. For example, when my products were not ready, I became affiliate for their products. I promoted their products. And actually, that really created a nice foundation and seed money for me to explore my business. So it's all means joint venture, because when I was nobody, when I was, I cannot say even zero, I was negative, because for any business, you have to invest money. So I was really negative into my new businesses. All the joint venture partnerships, networking and all that really help. And still means, I think everything is built totally on relationships. So I totally value relationships, and you are not in competition with anyone. It is basically you are completing each other. You just means basically you are promoting other people, their products, their services. Because when someone comes on my podcast, I create that episode, I put it on all podcast channels, then I put it on YouTube, then I create small clips, I put it on social media, I create a blog, I put it on my website. So I just make sure that someone is coming on my podcast, they get really extra visibility what they didn't have it before. So just means basically serving them and just promoting them, and basically it is just joint venture, helping each other out, nothing else.
Yeah, Dawn said it right. Collaboration, but you build an audience, you build trust, you build a brand, right? That's why you're able now to leverage that trust that people have given you to lead them into something that's really, helpful as well, right? To back up the offers or the affiliate links that you are promoting. I'm sure you probably use a lot of that yourself, or it's products that you also.
Yeah, absolutely. And basically, even the email list,
yeah.
I just make sure that people who are interested, they are staying on my email list. If someone hasn't opened my email list for quite some time or something, I immediately actually remove them from my email list, because I don't want to bother people. I want to serve people. I want to help people. But if they're not opening my list, that means I'm not adding enough value to their life. So means basically it has to be mutually beneficial.
Absolutely. All right. So where is it that people
Thank
can
you.
find? Where is it that people can find?
I'll put the information.
Okay.
Thank you.
If you could tell us too, that will help, because a lot of people might not get access to the chat, but they'll just listen to this. So
Yeah, I have two websites. One is mynewbeginning.com and one is newbeginning.com. Both are sister sites. Newbeginning.com is a blog where I put all the blogs and resources and all. And My New Beginning, it is mainly the digital's website. And the podcast also is New Beginning Inspiration for All. And actually YouTube also means it is under all the same name, because I don't want people to get confused. So my YouTube channel is also under the same name. So I'll just, thank you. I really appreciate you arranging this kind of meeting. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, I enjoyed it. Thank you so much to all the amazing ladies. We're going to keep it, we're going to end it soon now, but I really always enjoy the conversation, and I always learn something from everyone. So I love creating opportunities, events. I'm a big community builder myself. Build this community to over 30,000 purpose-driven entrepreneurs. So
Wow.
the program we have is for you to be a community expert. You get to post inside our Facebook group. I do summits every month, create stages and opportunities, events like this every week. And they're different from probably what's already out there because I focus on quality. For me, it's not important the big numbers of the followings and having huge, impact with numbers, but with the quality of the relationships and the fact that we get to nurture our relationships. So I have very intentionally set up touch points in my community so that I have access to all the people that are part of it so that we really create collaborations and we get to know one another, but most importantly, we get to build trust and walk alongside this journey together. Because I always say, if you're just like an icon on my social media and I never got to spoke to you and vice versa, how is it that we ever going to add value to each other's lives? So I know how important that is. So I want to thank all of you that have joined me today. And if you want more information on that, definitely we will connect after. So thank you so much. Have a great rest of your Friday and have a great weekend. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye, everyone. Enjoy your